Disclaimer: the actions taken in the following video are purely for investigative purposes and should not be replicated in case of the worst case scenario. I wanted to start this video by outlining the main issue, and then the following part will be me contacting 3 of these scammers using a different approach for each one I contact. And by doing so, this should allow me to get a deeper insight into the interworkings of scammers. How the scam works is that the scammer skims over Roblox for accounts with limited items. For example, I was contacted because I have a limited item that is in quite high demand and is also quite expensive. This item is special as it is also able to fly under the radar of Roblox, as it is an item that is easily sellable on the black market. It is also a midpoint of being watched by Roblox's moderation AI for suspicious activity. You may be thinking, how does the scam actually work though? Well, the scam will send you a friend request and pose as a UGC creator or VFX artist. Though, the scammer usually poses as a UGC creator. They will then ask you for your Discord username, which is already a major red flag, as sharing details on the Roblox site is against TOS. If you accept the scammer's friend request on Discord, then you'll be asked for your account's cookie. Now what this means is that your cookie is your live web page. For example, if you were to view your account, then having that tab open creates a live cookie. If anybody were to get hold of your cookie, then they could log into your account without actually needing to log in. They do this by using a cookie logger or even a beaming link through Discord. I would just like to point out how all 3 of these accounts are online at the same time. This could potentially mean that the accounts are stolen and are being used to scam by the exact same person. Now I believe that there is 2 factors to why someone might not dismiss this as a scam. Number 1 is that each account has a popular UGC group attached to it, which emphasizes the legitimacy of their claim of being a UGC creator. Number 2, while this is quite a sad thought, the appeal of the scammer's avatar may tempt vulnerable men and boys in particular into cooperating with them. The first scam we're going to be discussing clearly exploited exactly this. The name of our first entry into this multi-part series is called Haley, or Adore Me Forever. They claim to be a UGC shoulder pal creator, which many of these scammers tend to lean into, as shoulder pals are easy enough to make. Her description on Roblox reads, "Hi, I'm Haley. A little about me. I have 3D modeled since 2019 and I've enjoyed every second. Thank you to everyone who has supported me through this journey. If I do not respond, I'm sleeping." This description is an obvious and predictable bravado put up as an excuse for probably being 39 years old and still living with their parents. Now, they do have a group, but that's not what we're here for. We're only here for one person. When we first made contact, I said, "Hello, what did you add me for?" To which she replied 4 hours later, "Hey, I'm one of the largest growing UGC PAL creators and I loved your avatar. Could I make your avatar into a mini shoulder pal? You can see some of my past work in my group." So here you'll see how their messages are really polite and cooperative, which is already unnatural for anyone with a career in Roblox. Also, I would like to point out that her display name here is Add Back Please, which hints at a slight desperation. In an effort to continue this, I replied, "Wow, that's awesome, of course you can." To which she replied, "Okay, great, by the way, what percentage of the profit would you like? They normally make 5 to 20k Robux over time." I said 15% would be reasonable since Roblox already takes a 35% cut of every purchase made. After a few minutes of non-replies, she finally says, "Sure, join my group so I can set it up, and I'd love your thoughts on a few things before I finish it. Do you have Discord?" I simply replied, "Yeah." She says, okay, user." I say, "Bit strange, but it's redacted." She then replies, "How's that strange, lol? I just told you why." To which I replied, "I meant my username, lol." Seconds after this, there it was, Discord friend request from Haley Designs. I quickly peeped her profile picture and knew that that person was not 19 years old. I quickly backwards searched this image, but to my surprise, there was 0 matches found. Now this could actually be worst case scenario because this could be someone in their personal life who is now taking accountability for their actions. Straight after not finding an origin for this image, she says hey and I have to say hey back. So she says, "So before I get started with anything, what pose would you like your shoulder pal to be doing?" She says, "I can do sitting, waving, etc. I could totally surprise you with one." So I said, "I think a surprise pose or whatever you think would be best for my avatar." She then replies, "Sure, I think this one's going to look great." And just making sure, are you fine if I upload it to my Twitter portfolio when I finish making it? It's like a mini portfolio for all my work. And she sends 2 links in this one message. I did not end up clicking on any links since I know that you can hide links within other links to beam someone and get every single login they have on their device. So I did not end up clicking anything. I didn't want to look at any portfolio that had some ulterior motive, because I know that in the end, all she wants to do is get my account. So I wasn't going to trust her with anything else. I reply with a simple cool, because I don't really want to interact with any of her portfolio work. To which she replies, "Let me show you what I've been working on so far, one sec." So she proceeds to send me a 3D render of my character's model, but without textures, and you'll see why she does this later on. Anyway, I engage into some playful banter and I say, "There he is, lol." So she says, "Yes, haha," and then followed by, "Also, one more thing, would you mind sending your avatar overlay so I can upload it to the catalog?" She says that I need the overlay to upload it. And I respond with, "Would you mind giving me a rundown on how to do so?" And then she says, "Oh sure, I'm pretty sure there's a 1 minute guide on YouTube explaining how to do it. Let me find it for you." Now I know what she's talking about by this point. It's for some reason your cookie is contained within your character's textures and mesh, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why that's the case, but it just is, and it works so well. I don't know why Roblox just don't change it. It makes absolutely no sense, but there you go. That's pretty much what they do. She then sends a video link. Now, I do not trust anyone that looks like the character in the thumbnail, but I decided to give it a research on YouTube because I don't want to click on the link, just in case, the worst case scenario, you know how it goes. And I do end up finding the video. Now, I go down to the comments. There is only about 60 comments by this time, and I decided to paste my own comment in there to see if it would disappear in, I don't know, a matter of minutes, or maybe I'll check on it later and see if it's still there. So I did come back to this comment in the editing of this video, and yep, it's not there at all. There's no trace of it. The comment counter went up to 61, and now it's back down to 60, and I cannot find it anywhere. There's no new comments. There's no negative comments. They remove every single negative comment there is. They've got some sort of bot that just goes over and censors out words, and I don't know how they do it, but it just makes me think how many innocent people have tried to warn other people on this video in the comments by saying the exact same thing, that my account has been hacked. So I respond with a simple, okay, I see. So it gives you my account cookie, cool. And then I immediately block her, unfriend her on Discord or whatever. But then I go over to Roblox and see that she has instantly unfriended me. This may indicate that she was on to me the entire time, or even worse. Like I said in the disclaimer, it is completely and entirely my fault for any incident that is a result of my own doing on my account, and that the video is an example of a real life danger on Roblox. This is only scratching the surface of the underground depravity of the dark underside of Roblox. This concludes our first episode of Roblox Scammers. Thank you all for watching, and stay safe.